This was a promise that we gave to each one of you that you'll always be free. What does it mean to be free? You get to make your own decisions, right? You can go the direction you think is appropriate, and if people don't like it, well, that's too bad. It's your decision to make, isn't it? That is what the Declaration of Independence was about. That you don't have a king who's going to tell you how to live. You will decide which direction you want to go. And the second one of the great miracles that came about, will you high sign me when we get close to the time, though? I guess they're going to have a bell, won't they?
They'll have a bell.
Very good. The second one of these was this right here. And you know what that is? What is it? The Constitution, exactly. Did you know, this is incredible. This was the first written constitution ever in all of mankind's history. The first time anybody actually put on paper saying, all right, the government does this, and we are allowed to do this. Basically says that you have a promise from your government that you are free to do what you think is appropriate, and only God has the authority to take those rights away from you. Isn't that true? You know what the problem is, though? They're printed on paper, they're very fragile, and if you lose those miracles, these promises, there's going to be another war, won't there? So here's what we have to do. We need each one of you to be miracles for this country today. Did you know that? And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you do that. That is the important part I want you to understand. What is a hero in your mind? What is a hero like? Tell me, what do you think? Saves people, serves them, stands with them, right? What else? Can you think of anything else that a real hero is? Yes. Brave. Okay. Courage, right? Okay. Yes. Kind. Absolutely. Little stand up for the right thing, right? I'm going to tell you some stories about some young people who learned how to do each one of those things. A little bit too. Let me add one in there called honesty too. The first one I want you to think about is the person who is brave. You are all of the right age. You know that there was a young girl by the name of Molly that lived right next door to my plantation down there in Virginia. She was only 10 years old. Molly had a sheep that she absolutely dearly loved. You see, her father raised sheep, had about 200 sheep on his plantation. She had a little baby lamb that was her very, very favorite pet, the thing she loved most in the world. She was only 3 weeks old. Well, there came a time when my soldiers were dying of starvation. Didn't have any food. And so desperately, I sent the soldiers I had off across the countryside to say, look, can you please go and beg for anything you can find? Ask, please. They came to Molly's father. They said, can you give us anything to feed my men? And you know what? He gave them all 200 of his sheep, except one, the little lamb that was Molly's favorite pet. He didn't want his daughter to have to give up her favorite pet. Sent them on their way, but Molly was a real hero. She was brave. And you know what she did? She grabbed that lamb against her chest like this, and she raced after the soldiers, walked up to them, and handed them her lamb and said, here, take my lamb too, because I could never sleep in peace again if I thought I was so selfish one of your men had to go hungry. You think that was a hero? You think she's pretty brave? You see what? You don't have to be a big guy, you don't have to be older, you can be a young person and still be a hero, can't you? By showing courage. Okay? Let me tell you another story. I'm going to tell you about something you need to know. You see, a hero's got to be honest too, doesn't he? Is that a hard lesson sometimes? You always get along perfectly with mom and dad. You never argue with them, do you? Never would you do that, right? George Washington had a problem that way. You see, I was sometimes a little hot-tempered, determined to have my own way. I was always opinionated, and I thought, well, I'm going to do it the way I think is right. And my mother, Mary, and I didn't always get along because, you know, my mother, Mary, she was also hot-tempered. She was determined to have her way. She was opinionated. You know what? We sometimes would knock heads. And my mother had a horse that she absolutely loved. It was a mare. And I think she loved the horse because it was just like the two of us. No one could train that horse and ride it. It was very hot-tempered and stubborn and opinionated. It was going to do things its own way. Well, my mother, Mary, had told me about 1,000 times, George, you leave my horse alone. Stay away from her. I like her the way she is. One day when I was 16 years old, and already rather large, I was of course always obedient to Mom, wasn't I? And we were doing something, my friends and I were about by the corral doing something you young boys would recognize. Girls usually don't know this. We were daring. George, I dare you to ride your mother's horse. George, I double dare you. I double dog dare you. Do you turn down a double dog dare? No way. So I roped my mother's horse and brought her up alongside the corral. I put a rope bridle over her face. I threw a blanket on the back of my mother's favorite horse, leaped on the back of my mother's favorite horse, and promptly killed her. She dropped dead under me from fright. And I looked at my feet, and there's my mother's favorite horse, dead. I've got a problem. And so as I walked back to the house, my friends were with me, and they're advising me on how to lie my way out of the situation. George, we don't know what happened. George, somebody else made this mistake. George, the horse is already dead. Shh, it's our secret. And you know what? Mothers sometimes know what's coming, don't they? They know what's coming. So she peeked out the door and she saw I'd been by the corral, and she stepped outside, wiping her hands on the collar. She said, George, I see you've been by my favorite horse. How's she doing? And I thought, Mother, I disobeyed you and I just killed your favorite horse. She turned bright red with anger, and then she slowly calmed down. She said, George, I've told you 1,000 times you leave my horse alone. I like her that way, and you disobeyed me. You just killed my favorite horse. But you have shown such courage and such honesty, which is the characteristic of a true hero, that I will forgive you this day. And so you see, sometimes even a hard lesson, even George Washington had to learn, didn't he? Not easy. But you know something? I'm going to tell you something your teachers don't know. Teachers, is the story of the cherry tree true?
No.
Yes, it is. Because you see, what happened is after I died, Parson Weems, my first biographer, turned a dying horse into a cherry tree so no one would be frightened anymore. So you see, sometimes things are true and you didn't even know them. Is that true? So do you think you can be a hero for your country and keep this miracle alive? By being honest, by being brave, by doing what's right? I know. And that's why I've got one more thing I want to show you. Sometimes young people think you can't be a hero because you're too small. Oh, but you're wrong. Young lady, would you join me up here? Yes, please. Stand up next to me, please. I promise not to bite. You know I have terrible teeth, right? What's your name? Lily? Oh, it's a beautiful name. Lily, I'm going to give you two things I'd like you to tell our friends here what they are, okay? And the first thing is, it's a rock. It's like the way she says that. You think it's a very big rock? No, you think it's very important? Lily, I want to show you something. I want you all to think about this. That's not a very big rock. And you can take this rock, though, and if you throw it in the middle of the mightiest river, it goes to the bottom. You know what happens then, Lily? It does. It gets in the bottom, and then as it sits there, mud and sand collect around it. It makes a bigger and bigger lump until eventually it pokes right out of the water. Plants grow on it, and you can change the course of the river. How about that?
He just shot a gun.
Now, one more thing. One more thing. What is that? It's a mirror. What do you see in that mirror? What are you? So, young lady, is that right? You think you're very important? You better believe it. Did you know that you are eternal? You're a child of God. That means that all the universe is created. You know what else? Take the person in that mirror and place her or him in the stream of time, and you can change the course of all history. You ever thought about that? One person, like that football player, one person like little Molly, stood up for the right thing and gave up to some soldier living behind her. It would be a miracle for us. I preach. Thank you so much. Each one of you is the same way. Each one of you can be a great hero and remembered for all time. And that's what we're here for you to remember. Because these things here are great miracles, but you're greater miracles indeed. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to ask you, since we have just enough time, you also heard the story about George's wooden teeth, haven't you? Did I have wooden teeth? No, I didn't have wooden teeth, but I had false teeth, and they had wooden frames with ivory teeth in them, and in the back was a little spring, so like that when you open your mouth. But you know why I lost all my teeth? Because sometimes even a brave person and even a hero can make some stupid decisions. And so my dad used to take walnuts. He was so strong, he'd take walnuts and he'd crush them in his hands like that. And I thought, well, I think I'll do that too. And I couldn't. So I did what I thought was the next best thing. Are you ready for that?
You better.
Broke every tooth over here, and I kept going until I broke every tooth but that one. And to make it worse, I had a weakness. You know what it was? Oh, every morning, every noon, and every night, a salad bowl-sized bowl of vanilla ice cream. Shaved ice with milk and sugar and flavorings poured over it. When you have broken teeth, don't eat ice cream on them. That's really not very smart. So thank you, each one of you. I think we're just about ready for you to go. Is there any other questions? Nothing? Yes.
How did you die?
How did I die? I was out in the snow, and I got a very, very, very bad sore throat. It's called epiglottitis. It was swollen so bad I could almost not breathe. But you know, that didn't kill me. You know what killed me? My doctors. Because they didn't know how to treat something like that. So what they would do, they kept taking blood out of me because they thought that's where the disease was in the blood. 8 times in one day until finally there's almost no blood left in me. That's how I died. Aren't you glad you have better doctors today?
You died of blood loss?
Blood loss, exactly right, correct. Any other questions? Yes?
When did you die?
1799. It's a long time ago. December the 14th. Right near the end of the year. Yes.
How long ago were you?
When I was born in 1732 on February the 22nd. You know, you
How
celebrate.
did you come back to life?
Well, just because your body dies doesn't mean your spirit dies, does it? That's right. You're going to keep on living. Okay. Thank you, each one of you. I think you're probably about ready to get going.